Hello guys, this is Abhinav from VCube. I'm here to teach you guys all how to make a line follower on NXT-G. So first of all, let's go ahead and just make a new program, and I'll call it line follower. Alright, now we have a program. So how our line follower is going to work is it's not really going to follow the center of the line, but it's going to follow the edge of it, and it's going to go back and forth between black and white. So if you have a black line, you're going to follow the edge of the line, so you're going to move towards black and then towards white, so that you're following the edge of that line. So since we want to keep on repeating this act of going back and forth, let's just put a loop, and then we're going to have a switch block to switch between what to do if it's white or black. And by default it's set to touch sensor, so go ahead and put that to light sensor, since that's what we need, and then select whatever port you're using. And for comparing, this number should be the average between the light value and the dark value, and you can check this by going to the view menu on the NXT and putting the light sensor on top of white and black, and you just add the two values together and divide it by 2. So for me, I got 30 for white and 60 for black, so I'm just going to go ahead and say this is 45, and I'll move on. Alright, next we need our move blocks, or our motor blocks, so that our motors actually move. So we're going to need a motor block for both the white and the black values. So what we're going to do is, if it's white, we need to turn in one direction, but if it's black, we need to turn in the other, so that we're going back and forth, and on average we're going to be following the edge of the line. So this is going to be a B motor, and the bottom one is going to be a C motor. Now you can use whatever power you want, but I think 75 is a nice power because it's not too fast, but it's still accurate. And the duration should be set to unlimited. Alright, so basically what this should do is move back and forth between the edge of a black line. But what's going to happen is, since we're not stopping the motors, they're both just going to run at the same time. So we need to add another block to stop the motor that we don't want to use, and only run one motor at a time. So when we're running the B motor, we want to stop the C motor, and when we're running the C motor, we want to stop the B motor. Alright? And now we have all of this, and if you were to run this, your robot would follow a line, but it just follows it forever, and this isn't really useful. We want to control how far or how long our robot is following a line. So currently the loop's duration is really what controls the line follower, and it's set for forever right now. But what you can do is you can set it to a sensor, or some kind of sensor, like if your touch sensor gets touched, if you want to stop it, you can do that, or an ultrasonic or something like that. But what's really useful is time, and you can just say line follow for 10 seconds, and you can just measure out how long it takes for your robot to get to its destination. Or you can use logic. So time is really the easiest thing, and this will probably be what most rookie teams should use. But for teams that want some more accuracy, there is another way, and I'll be going over that right now. So if you want to have a little bit more challenge, you can go ahead and select logic. And now what we're going to try and do is, instead of using a certain amount of time, we'll try and stop the loop based upon how far the robot has moved in rotations or degrees or whatever you want to use. So first what we're going to have to do is we're going to use the rotation sensor. So we're going to have to put this block in front of the loop so that we reset the rotation sensor before we start line following. So we'll just have it reset, and then I'll just choose B. You can use C, it's not going to make any difference, so just go ahead and set that. And then within the loop we're going to have another rotation sensor, and we're going to have it set to read this time, and it needs to be the same motor as this one. So let's just set that to B, and then this one's also going to be B. And then now we don't need to worry about any of this other stuff, just make sure it's set to read. And then we're going to take the value in degrees, and then we're just going to set that and feed it into this right here. One sec. Alright, let me just drag this and put that in there. So it's going to be until true. And then here what you would say is while it's, so basically compare and then less than. So basically what this means is if the rotation sensor reads less than 360 degrees, then this block will return a value of true. So actually we're not going to need this. Oops, let me add that back. Where did that go? We're going to need the true or false statement. So read greater than, let's make that less than 360, and then this is direction, this is degrees, so let's just drop this down. There should be a true, false, yes, no. Let's go ahead and feed that into here. So now what this is going to say is until the statement is true, we're going to continue running this loop. But once it becomes false, we're going to stop it. But what we really need is once it's false, we want to stop running this loop. So here, this statement that the degrees is less than 360 degrees is going to become false once the robot travels 360 degrees. And this value can be anything, whatever you need, 360, 600, or 600. Set it to whatever you need to. And we're basically going to check what the degree value is every time, and then if it's true, we're going to keep running the loop, but if it's false, we're going to stop the loop and then continue on to whatever we have next. So for discussion's sake, I'm just going to say we'll stop afterwards. So once we're done with, say, 600 degrees, our program is going to go and stop. And if you have more stuff in your program, you can just add it on here at the end, and anything that goes before will be added on over here. So this is just basically how to make a line follower. Again, you don't have to use the degrees thing unless you want to. It's a lot easier to just go by time. But that's basically how you use a line follower in NXT-G. So thanks for watching, and be sure to watch our other videos. Alright, see you next time.